Hey guys, so I was about to upload a video about reaching level 480, but I got two comments in two different videos with very similar question. I replied to the comment, but I thought, okay, maybe it's some information that can help new player, and so I decided to make a video about free-to-play characters and early game progress. So when you start the game is very slow, and you're gonna have a lot of trouble to do pretty much anything at first because you're not strong enough to do anything and you don't have any character leveled up. At first, I would advise to just use any character that you have to the highest rank. Like, don't worry about the type, about the element, just use whatever the game is throwing at you. Every time you summon, you find, I don't know, Nora, use Nora. There is no problem, it's a good character. You can use her for early game, even in the middle stage of the game, it's still a good choice. So don't worry too much about like your formation, the element, if you have a tank, if you have someone doing debuff and stuff like that. At first, try to progress as much as possible with whatever you have, and don't worry too much about missing from event, because now there is not a good example because this event is like completely random. But when you have chest event or like summoning event, don't worry too much about not finishing the event. It's normal, it happens to everybody, and you will have more chance in the future because the event always come back. So that's okay. Like, don't panic because, oh no, you missed the last like 200 summon from the summoning event and you can get the 50 universal shard. That's normal. You don't have to spend money for that now because you miss it, and it's normal. It happened to everybody at first. So once you start to have like some character leveled up and you have a little bit of a choice, you might be wondering, okay, I don't know what's good and what's bad. There's not much information about this game out there. So what character should I use? So from my experience, there are good characters from every element, and now I'm gonna focus mostly on rock, water, fire and wind characters, because that's what I guess people mean when they say free to play. This is because you can get this elemental character from the wishlist. So the wishlist, as you can see from here, every time you summon a SSR hero, you have a 30% chance for one of the hero from your wishlist to appear, to be like chosen to be your summon. And so it's easier to build up these characters compared to light and dark, and also because they have more chance to come out in your summon compared to light and dark characters. So it's gonna be easier to build them, and it's gonna be something that everybody can have. You don't need to buy season pass and stuff like that to level them up to a decent speed, which is something that you have to do unfortunately with light and dark hero, mostly at first. Then you can find other way to do it as a free-to-play player, but at first it's very difficult. So we're gonna focus on these four elements. So first of all, my advice, as I said in those video, is to put these three characters in your wishlist: Lilian, Evelyn, and Delia. And this is because these are characters that you're gonna use for the entire game, and they're both amazing for PvP and PvE. You cannot go wrong with this character. It's you can build them up slowly with the summoning, because again, you can put them in the wishlist. Before, the wishlist was locked behind some level, so you need to reach some different level to unlock every slot of the wishlist. I was reading that recently they did an update, and now I think it's free for everybody. Like, you have the 3 slot now, even if you are like level 1. I'm not sure because I cannot check, because I cannot do it anymore, but that's what I was reading in the Facebook page of Endless Grade. So they should be very good for new player, and they should definitely put these 3 characters in their wishlist. For other type of character, I would say, if I don't want to talk too much about the arena, because I know for me it's like the most fun part of the game, but a lot of people just want to progress, and to progress you just need PvE character. But just let me say, Arthur is very good for arena if you need a warrior. I used to put him a lot in my team for arena. Unfortunately, the design is very good, is very good looking, is very cool, but outside of the arena is not very good, it's not very strong, and you will be disappointed if you use him outside of the arena. That's very unfortunate, but it is what it is. Iset is amazing, it's very good character for PvE and PvP. For PvE, because she can petrify the enemy. Petrification work on both boss, so PvE, and also players, so also for the arena. And also for the arena, she can reduce the rage of enemy's character, which means that if they don't, like, if the rage goes down, they cannot use the skill, which is like very good. So Iset, very good and strong rock type character. And another one that if you have a lot of like, if you can rank him up, is good, is a good choice, is the ventriloquist, is Devin. This one is also a very good mage. If you don't have Evelyn but you have him to a decent rank, he can be your damage dealer. There is no problem, he's a good character. For rock type, this is the one I would advise to use. The other characters are not bad, especially Victoria is a decent type of healer. Not the best, but decent enough, especially early game. And also Chloe is a good warrior. You need to know how to use her. The kit is a little bit particular, so I wouldn't advise for early game, but it's still a good option, it's still a good warrior. So when we go to water, as I said before, Lilian, best priest, best healer in the game for me, and Evelyn, one of the best damage dealer in the game. She has an amazing stun, especially when you rank up the skill. At some point, one of the characters that get hit by the skill is gonna have a 100% chance to be stunned, so it's amazing, it's very strong. If you don't have these two characters, I would say Eddie is not a bad assassin. The skill is very good in PvE because you can hit a lot of enemy with that. I used to use him a little bit in my early days, so a good choice. Not the best one, not the best assassin. We will see that the fire element is the best assassin, but it's a good choice, a solid choice. Ilya, if you want to invest in one warrior from the main element, I would say go for Ilya. Ilya, in my opinion, is the strongest warrior out of the 4 element. I used her even when I was like level 300 and something. I was still using her, and I still use her today for my tower, for the water tower. So very good choice, absolutely. If you don't have Evelyn, Skadi is another good option for mage. Overall, most of the mage are very good. Like, it's difficult that you use a mage and it's not strong. That's because mage is the strongest class in my opinion for damage dealer. So it's almost every mage is a good choice. Skadi is a good choice if you don't have Evelyn, or like if your Evelyn is only rank 1 and you have like a rank 3, 4, 5 Skadi, don't worry, use her, put her in a team, is good. So for fire, I didn't use many fire character when I was leveling up, but Nora is a very good assassin, probably one of the best. Overall, she's great in every mode. Maeve is my favorite assassin in the game right now. She's absolutely amazing for dungeon and Xeno. I still use her today. I think mine is what, like rank 12? Like, look, my team is like 21, 21, 26, 20, 11 solo because he's dark character and I didn't invest. And I have Maeve is like rank 12, and I still use her for end game content, so like for the highest level of dungeon and Xeno. And I have like decent ranking. As you can see, the dungeon, I finished this one, this one I only need 1, but I still have Maeve in my team. This is the team that I used to clear the level 19 dungeon for Crystal. And also for the Xeno, as you can see now I'm rank 3, and I still have Maeve in my team. So Maeve, very good choice for boss. She's not as good in normal PvE like tower or stage here, and also not very good in arena, but for boss, if you're having problem like to beat a dungeon, you can absolutely put Maeve in your team, you're not gonna regret. She's very great at that. And I don't remember if we talked about this one, but Ines is not a bad healer. If you don't have Lilian and you have a choice between Victoria and Ines, I would definitely go for Ines, she's better. I also used this one in my early days. I was reading online that she got nerfed. I don't know, honestly I didn't get like very much into it, like reading all the stuff that happened. I just saw a bunch of people like complaining about her being nerfed. When I was playing her in early game, she was not bad. She's kind of like a hybrid between a warrior and a healer, so it was a good choice back then. Now I don't know, if she got nerfed, maybe it's better if you don't use her, I'm not sure. If you have to choose an healer from the fire type, I would definitely go for this one. And the assassin are good. So for the wind type character, Flora is a very good choice. If you don't have the other damage dealer that I mentioned before to a decent level, you can use her as a damage dealer. Very good, very strong. I still use her now for many different like mode. I also use her in arena sometime, but mostly for dungeon and Xeno. She also useful in stage cleaning, so pretty much for PvE is a good choice. Also for PvP, not as a main damage dealer. I wouldn't use her as a main damage dealer unless she's rank over 20 and you don't have other mage over that level, but she can be a very good sub damage dealer. So wind type have very good priest, which are Galadriel and Leonardo. If you don't have Lilian but you have every other healer from fire and rock type, to the same level, I would still go for the wind type healers. Especially Galadriel for me was amazing in early game, it was very good. And Leonardo also is very good, and people still use him nowadays, even in arena at like high level. So it's a good choice, as you can imagine. I would still prefer Galadriel in early game because, in my opinion, she's better for PvE overall. But if your Leonardo is like more leveled up than Galadriel, and you don't have other healer, absolutely go for Leonardo. It's not a problem. He's a good healer. He's a strong character. And then, of course, there is Delia, which, as I mentioned before, is my favorite character from wind type, and she's the amazing debuff character. Like the poison is super strong, and yeah, you're never gonna regret having Delia in your team. She's super strong. So this is what I would advise for new player and free-to-play player. Now for the formation, I would say you need at least 2 to 3 priests. As I mentioned before, I don't use warrior. Now in the early game you can use warrior, absolutely, but when you start to have choices for like which character you want to use, because you pretty much have everybody between rank 4 to 7, I would go for 3 priest type characters. You can put your strongest priest in the middle, and you can put the other priest like in the front line. Maybe one in the front line and one in the back line, just to make sure that not everybody dies if like something happens. But I used to put, when I had choice, I used to put priest as my tank, basically as my front line in early days and early game, also in the middle part of the game, like around level 200, 300. So 3 priests, 1 or 2 must be for healing and 1 must be for debuff. Like for example, solo, I don't use solo for the healing, or I don't use Lilith when I use her for healing, I just use them for the debuff, because Lilian is strong enough to be the main healer. If your character died too fast and you need more healing, then of course you can put a more healer more focused on healing, like Galadriel, for example. It's a very good choice at first to have these 2 as healer. Then maybe you don't have Leonardo, then you can put this one. Now you should have at that point Delia and Evelyn, because you got the copies from your wishlist when you do summoning. And at that point you should start to be able to clear good amount of PvE challenges and accumulate reward, accumulate resources, and slowly start to invest into light or dark character. Now if we assume that for whatever reason you still don't have access to a good damage dealer from light or dark characters, because maybe you start to get universal shard, but you're investing them into solo and Lilith. So for example, you level them up to 7, you prioritize them over a damage dealer, which is absolutely fine, and it's also what I did, I think, back then, before I got the season pass for Sophia. Now you can choose another damage dealer from the normal element. Flora, very good option. You can switch her out when you do Xeno and Dungeon with Miv. And then what else do we have? Skadi. If you don't have any of the other character mentioned before, you can use Skadi. And also, if you don't, for whatever reason, all the other mages in your roster are like low rank, you can use Ilya. You can put Ilya as a warrior. In that case, you swap one of the priests from the front line to the back line, and then you can use her as the main tank. The character is gonna get most damage in the front row. That's another option for team building. So as before, if you have any question, don't worry, you can ask me in the comment. I will try to reply to everybody. Of course, there are a lot of other stuff to consider, like for example the bonus based on your formation and the character that you use. Your pet, for example, they play a big role at some point, especially when you start to have mystic and I don't know how they call the rarity of this one, like legendary type of pet. And also the spirit are also another very important fact of the game. Don't worry too much about the blacksmith, because you're not gonna unlock him for like a very long time. Try to join an active guild, because when you are in an active guild you get a lot of guild points, and usually you get enough to buy everything in the shop. Now the game doesn't have a lot of active player, at least in my server, so it might be difficult to join a good guild. So you can join the first one you can get into, as long as you see that they have active player. If they are not active, leave the guild and try to join another one, because you can get a lot of useful stuff here. If you don't have enough points to buy everything, just go for the recruit scroll and the universal shard, And then based on your situation you can get legendary or mythical chest, which is the legendary if you need to finish the event, mythical chest if you need more gems. And yeah, that's it. Remember also to adjust the team based on what you need. For example, if you lose a lot because your character died too fast, then maybe you need one more healer. You can swap one character from your team, from like maybe a damage dealer for a healer, and or maybe like, even as I said before, some healer they only have debuff, like very good debuff, like solo. You can put a character like that because maybe you need damage reduction. And on the opposite, if you can survive long enough, like 10 turn, but then you die because you cannot kill the enemy fast enough, then try to take out maybe one of your priests or one of your warrior to put an assassin or a mage, because you probably need more damage at that point. Try to like test what team work best for you. A lot of time is like trial and error. I still do that in the tower a lot. Like when I cannot win a level, I just like change my team and put something different. Like as you can see, today I was trying to mess around with my team and I put Iset as my main tank. It's like she's a rank 12 main. So just trial and error. Try different combination and see what works for you based on what you have and what you need. Okay, that's it for real this time. This video is super long. I don't think anyone is gonna watch it because usually long video don't work very well. But yeah, I hope it was helpful. Have a good day. Bye bye guys.